Hello everyone, sorry for being kinda late. Last season really got me and this season is a bit different. We have romances, we have fantasy, adventure and whatever that dog anime is. Here are some anime that you may be missing from this season. Also, one more thing, I will separate them in 3 categories. First one, good for newcomers, anime that is not objectively bad but not great. Good for people who are new to the genre and may like the weird ideas. Reincarnated as a sword, for example. Shows to look out to, anime for those who are already familiar with the genre and might like these selections of anime that explore deeper themes and have better production value. Also, sequels that might be good and can fit in this category. And third one, shows to possibly avoid, anime that doesn't fit the other 2 categories and might be bad. However, for the trash connoisseur, it might be a fit. Watch at your own risk. Finally, here are the shows. Inspectra is a show about a high school student named Kotoko Iwanaga, who is a self-proclaimed goddess of wisdom and can communicate with spirits. She is approached by a boy named Kuro, who is also able to see spirits, and together they work to solve supernatural mysteries and conflicts between the spirit world and the human world. But you are not watching this only for the spirits. The chemistry between these two is so good. I don't know if I want to talk much about this one. It's a romance/supernatural detective show. It has some annoying moments, especially with the dialogue, but the characters and quirkiness of Kotoko can truly carry the show. Overall, I recommend it, especially for a new to anime, so hurry up and catch up with the 2nd season that is airing right now. The premise of the story is about a girl named Anis, who is the reincarnation of a powerful princess from another world. She finds herself in a world filled with magic and fantasy, and together with her partner and best friend, a girl named Akane, they work to bring a magical revolution in this new world. Together, they aim to overcome the established order and create a new society where everyone can use magic freely. Magical Revolution seems promising. I not only enjoy our characters, but the way that the anime constantly breaks expectations. And when I say all characters, I mean even her brother, All. He is the perfect candidate for an antagonist. Looking closely, you can see that there is motivations for his actions, and he and Anis are quite alike. Anis can be annoying as well, but it's not that bad in my opinion. Both want freedom from the roles that were given to them. My only complaint is that there is no reason for this to be an isekai, at least not yet, but it doesn't have RPG menus, which I truly appreciate. Really good show, which I recommend everyone to check. In Reborn to Master Blade, a king in his deathbed re-encounters the goddess that gave his blessing so he could be as good of a ruler as he was. She gives him another wish, which he chooses to be a skilled sword master, craving the fights which he couldn't do from his throne. However, this time he's not a swordsman, but a swordswoman, and he is overpowered, like really overpowered. The anime has some fun moments. I like Chris' personality and how the anime presents her, but of course she is an overpowered protagonist who is great at everything, which as a toddler can explode a dragon with her magical laser beam. But I love isekai. Oh yeah, I know it's the same world where Chris got reincarnated, but I don't care. This anime is clearly trying to deceive us. I've seen enough isekai to recognize this. There is something that bothers me in the art style, or maybe the character design. I can't point it out exactly, but that makes the show look uglier or strange. It's not the static animation, which is noticeable, but this detail bothers me slightly. Maybe it's the smile of the characters. If you also felt that, let me know. I probably nitpicking this. Anyway, it's an interesting anime if you are new to anime or the isekai genre. I recommend it. Isekai handyman Saitou-san is exactly what the title says. However, Saito, that is now in this fantasy world, uses his many skills to prove himself useful to his party and survive this harsh and magical world. This is a surprisingly good anime, not only in the premise, but in the production. The art style is well made and there are constant grid shots. Instead of just cuts, they go out of their way to give us transitions and camera angles to show not only the character but places where they are. flashbacks as well. I also enjoy how Saito is not much powerful in terms of combat. This makes the side characters shine their best, while also giving a weakness to the protagonist. It's truly a good anime for beginners and those who are already used to isekai. My only bad point is that the show is just a compilation of short stories instead of a progressive adventure. But even with that, they managed to give us world building, character development, and side characters relevance, which have nothing to do with Saito. Yes, it's really episodic, but clearly they are going their way to give us more the most adventure anime do in 12 episodes. This is a fantastic anime and a hidden gem from winter 2023. I can't recommend it enough, please give it a try. The story begins with Nick, an experienced adventurer whose party is led by his mentor and father figure, Argus. Following the completion of his latest job, Nick discovers a chunk of money has gone missing and realizes one of the party members is responsible. To his surprise, Argus forgives the member and instead expels Nick after being accused of also embezzling funds. One night, after several weeks simping for Hatsune Miku, Nick ends up in a local tavern where fate leads him to meeting 3 fellow adventurers. After a night of drinking, the 4 bond over their own betrayals and their destroyed ability to trust anyone. This is when Nick hatches on the idea for the 4 to form a party, 4 adventurers who hate humans. Besides the fun premise, this anime offers a really interesting cast. All characters were betrayed, but they are not necessarily the nicest people before that. The design is also interesting and has some fun moments. The production is not the greatest, there are some weird moments, but this one certainly delivers. These are the anime that I'm watching this season, however that's not everything. There are way more anime this season and that you may probably missing out, so here are some quick ones. For romances, as I said, we have plentiful. The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten is a straightforward rom-com, which can also be deep and give you a serious story. Seems to be really good. Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible reminds me of Takagi-san, but with less bullying. It looks adorable, may be worth a try. The Ice Guy and his cool female colleague look so wholesome. I love Himuro and that he can hide his expressions and his powers go out of control. It's a fun fantasy rom-com. Farming Life in Another World is another isekai, however, I'll put it here since it has some romance in it. A guy dies of a horrible disease and when he reincarnates, he asks to God for a healthy body, to understand the language of the other world, and to be a farmer. On his Harvest Moon playthrough, he will meet a lot of girls that will fall in love with him and build his great agronomic empire. I'll let you decide if you want to try this one, with that one being a good transition for the isekai. Chilling in my 30s after getting fired from the Demon King's army. I don't know if this is good. Animation doesn't seem to give us that. It reminds me of Banished from the Heroes Party, which with Beast Tamer last season seems to have become a new subgenre of isekai, like farming isekai or the villainous isekai. Anyway, this one seems questionable at best. Proceed with care. Campfire cooking in another world with my absurd skill is exactly what the title says, and the main character's superpower is Amazon. That's a no for me, maybe for you. Buddy Daddies looks like a fun show about 2 criminals who have to take care of a small girl. We have seen this before, and yes, Japan birth rate decline may have something to do with this anime, but again, it looks like a fun show. It's worth to give it a try in my opinion. And finally, My Life as Inukai-san's Dog if you lost all hope in yourself.